Spiritual Manthan.
Imagine this. You're scrolling through social media or watching another success story on TV, and you see someone living a life that seems almost unreal. They have it all: the wealth, the power, the influence. You might shrug it off, thinking they're just lucky, born into privilege, or that life simply favors them. But what if I told you that their secret isn't about luck or privilege? It's about something deeper. The top 1%, those who seem to effortlessly manifest their desires, operate on a different understanding of reality. They know something that most people don't. They've unlocked a secret about God that changes everything. And no, it's not the version of God we've been taught in religious institutions, schools, or even by society at large. The truth is, most of us have been conditioned to see God as distant, external, and unreachable. We've been taught to beg, plead, and hope for divine intervention, as if we're powerless. But the reality is far more empowering and far more profound. The top 1% know that God isn't an external force that grants favors from above. God isn't sitting in the clouds, dishing out blessings or punishments based on how well we behave. The real God, the force that shapes everything in the universe, is within you. Yes, you heard that right. Within you. Think about the implications of that for a moment. What if the power to change your life, to shape your reality, to manifest your desires, was already inside you? What if the real God wasn't something to worship, but something to harness? This truth has been hidden from the masses for centuries. Why? Because a world where everyone realizes their divine potential is a world where no one can be controlled. The systems we live in, governments, corporations, religions, thrive on keeping people in the dark. But here's the good news: this knowledge isn't reserved for the elite. You don't need to be born into the top 1% to access this power. It's available to anyone who's ready to wake up and embrace the truth. So, are you ready? Are you ready to see the real God, not as a figure to worship, but as the energy that flows through you, the force that can make you unstoppable? Let's dive deeper and uncover the secret the top 1% don't want you to know. Breaking free from the illusion. From the moment we're born, we're fed a narrative about God and reality. It's a story designed to keep us small, to make us believe we're powerless, to convince us that we're at the mercy of forces beyond our control. Whether it's the image of a judgmental God watching from above, or the idea that we're insignificant in the grand scheme of things, this conditioning keeps us in a box. But let's pause for a second and ask a simple question: who benefits from this narrative? Think about it. If you believe you're powerless, you're easier to control. If you think you need to seek salvation or approval from external sources, you're less likely to question the systems around you. Governments, religions, and corporations all rely on this story to maintain their power. After all, a population that feels weak and dependent isn't going to challenge the status quo. The top 1% know better. They've broken free from this illusion. They've realized that the real God isn't an external figure pulling strings from a distance. The real God is the energy, the consciousness, the creative force that flows through everything. And here's the kicker: it's the same force that flows through you. This is where most people get stuck. The idea that God is within us feels too radical, too blasphemous, too out of reach. But it's not. In fact, it's the most empowering truth you'll ever encounter. The top 1% don't pray in the way most people do. They don't ask for favors or hope for miracles. They understand that they are co-creators of their reality. They don't see themselves as separate from God. They see themselves as expressions of the divine. And here's what they don't want you to know: you don't need to be special to access this power. You don't need to be born into wealth or privilege. You just need to break free from the illusion that you're separate from God. Because once you do, you'll see the truth. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. And the only limits you face are the ones you've been conditioned to believe in. the real power within. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a wave in the ocean. It rises, it falls, and then it merges back into the sea. For a moment, the wave might think it's separate from the ocean, that it has its own identity. But the truth is, the wave is just the ocean in motion. It's never been separate. You are the wave, and the divine energy that flows through the universe. That's the ocean. This is the truth the top 1% understand on a fundamental level. They don't see themselves as disconnected from the divine. They know that the same energy that creates stars, moves mountains, and fuels the infinite expansion of the cosmos flows through them. Here's the catch. Most of us don't realize this. We've been conditioned to think of ourselves as small, as insignificant, as powerless. But the reality is, you're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a single drop. The real God, the force behind all creation, isn't out there somewhere. It's inside you. It's in your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. And the moment you stop seeing yourself as separate from this force, you unlock a power that can transform your life. The top 1% use this knowledge to their advantage. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. They don't hope for miracles, they make them happen. They understand that their thoughts and beliefs are the blueprint for their reality. But here's the thing, this power isn't reserved for the elite. It's not something you need to earn or deserve. It's your birthright. The only thing standing between you and this truth is your belief that you're separate from it. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you truly believed you were one with the divine? How would you act if you knew that the same force that shapes galaxies was flowing through your veins? Because once you understand this, everything changes. You stop living in fear. You stop waiting for permission. You start creating your reality with the confidence of someone who knows they are the divine in action. Belief is the blueprint of reality. Let's cut to the heart of this secret. Your beliefs shape your reality. I don't mean this in a metaphorical way. I mean it literally. Your beliefs act like a blueprint for the life you're building, guiding your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Here's the thing. Most people don't even realize what they believe. They go through life on autopilot, unaware that their subconscious mind is filled with limiting beliefs picked up from childhood, society, or past failures. And these hidden beliefs, they act like invisible barriers, keeping you stuck in the same patterns, no matter how hard you try to change. But the top 1%, they're different. They've done the work to uncover and rewrite their beliefs. They understand that if they want to change their reality, they first have to change the stories they tell themselves. Take a moment to think about this. What do you believe about success? Do you think it's only for the lucky or the privileged? What about love? Do you believe you deserve it, or do you think it's always just out of reach? And money, do you see it as scarce, or as something that flows freely to those who align with it? The top 1% know that the universe doesn't argue with your beliefs. It simply reflects them. If you believe that life is hard, life will feel hard. If you believe you're not worthy of abundance, you'll unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. But here's the good news. Beliefs are not set in stone. They can be changed. And the process starts with awareness. The top 1% use tools like visualization, meditation, and affirmations to reprogram their subconscious minds. But they don't just repeat empty mantras. They infuse their affirmations with emotion and conviction. They see themselves living their desired reality, and they feel it as if it's already true. Here's an exercise you can try. Write down your biggest goal. Now ask yourself, what beliefs do I need to have for this to become my reality? Maybe it's the belief that you're capable, deserving, or unstoppable. Start affirming those beliefs every day, and more importantly, start acting as if they're already true. Because here's the secret: belief without action is meaningless. The top 1% don't just believe, they live their beliefs. They align their thoughts, feelings, and actions with their goals, creating a powerful force that bends reality to their will. So ask yourself, what do you believe about yourself and your potential? Because whatever you believe, you're right. The power of consistency. If there's one thing that separates the top 1% from the rest of the world, it's consistency. Let me put it this way. Most people treat self-improvement or spiritual growth like a hobby. They dabble in it when they feel motivated or when life gets tough. But the top 1%? They treat it like a lifestyle. Consistency is the key that unlocks every door. Imagine you're trying to light a fire. If you strike a match once and walk away, nothing happens. But if you keep feeding the flame, adding fuel, protecting it from the wind, you eventually create a roaring fire. That's how the universe works. It doesn't respond to occasional effort. It responds to sustained, focused energy. The problem is, we live in a world that glorifies instant results. We want everything now: the dream job, the perfect relationship, the financial freedom. And when it doesn't happen overnight, we give up, thinking it wasn't meant to be. The top 1% don't think like that. They understand that mastery, whether it's over your mind, your emotions, or your craft, takes time. They show up every single day, even when they don't feel like it, because they know that every action, no matter how small, adds up over time. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to reprogram your mind for abundance. Meditating once won't cut it. Writing affirmations for a week won't change your life. But doing it every day for 6 months? That's how you create lasting change. The top 1% don't rely on bursts of inspiration. They rely on habits. They've built routines that support their goals, whether it's daily visualization, journaling, or even something as simple as practicing gratitude. Here's the truth. The universe rewards persistence. It's like planting seeds. Some will sprout quickly, while others take time to grow. But if you stop watering them because you don't see immediate results, you'll never reap the harvest. So how do you build consistency? Start small. Pick one habit. Maybe it's meditating for 5 minutes or writing down 3 things you're grateful for, and commit to it every day. As you build momentum, you can add more. Remember, the top 1% didn't become masters overnight. They became masters by showing up day after day, no matter what. And you can do the same. You are the divine in action. Now, let's bring it all together. If there's one truth that the top 1% understand, it's this: you are not separate from God. This might sound radical, but stay with me. The same energy that created the stars, the galaxies, and the infinite universe flows through you. You are not a passive observer of life. You are a creator, an extension of the divine force that shapes all reality. Think of it like this: if the universe is a vast ocean, you are a drop of water. You're not separate from the ocean, you're part of it. You contain its essence, its energy, its power. The top 1% don't see themselves as small, insignificant beings at the mercy of life. They see themselves as unique expressions of the divine. They know that their thoughts, emotions, and actions are not just random, they are the tools through which the universe creates. This isn't just spiritual fluff. This is the truth that has been hidden from the masses for centuries. Why? Because a world where everyone realizes their divine potential is a world where no one can be controlled. So, what does this mean for you? It means you don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for a sign from the universe. You are the sign. You are the permission. Start acting like the creator that you are. Start living as if you already have the power to shape your reality, because you do. Stop looking outside yourself for answers, and start trusting the divine wisdom within you. This shift from seeking to being changes everything. When you stop seeing God as something out there and start realizing that you are an expression of God's power, you unlock a level of confidence, clarity, and creativity that most people can't even imagine. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop living small? Are you ready to step into your divine power and start creating the life you truly desire. Because the moment you make that shift, the moment you stop waiting and start knowing, you'll realize that the top 1% don't have any special powers. They've just tapped into the truth that's been inside you all along. And now, it's your turn.